Welcome to Her Ink Empire. I'm Justine Almaraz, and this is the podcast that redefines what's possible for you in the tattoo industry and in your tattoo education, not only in technical skills, but in business. This show is for fine artists, creatives, visionaries, artists of all kinds, even doodlers, who are ready to not just build a career, but a legacy. Here we merge mastery, freedom, and creative power to surpass the outdated industry norms, the outdated rules, and step fully into our creative power and roles as leaders in our communities. If you've ever felt like there has to be a better way, a better option to learn tattooing, to earn in this industry, and to lead in tattooing, you're in the right place. So let's build your empire, one bold, daring step at a time. Let's dive in. Danielle, thank you so much for doing this with me today. I'm really honored to get to talk to you.
Absolutely. I feel really honored to get to be here. It feels like a very fun outlet to get to share and commune over tattooing just because I feel like it's a really unique art form. And so it's fun that, one, we tattoo in the same place, but two, that we just get to share stories. So
Yes. Yeah. Where we get to have our studios is a very special place. And when I saw your work, I was like, Danielle is a soul sister for sure. And I almost feel like it was definitely divinely orchestrated that we get to be under the same roof and connect. And so I'm excited to go into this convo with you.
I love it.
Yes. So just so you know, too, this beautiful audience of ours they're here to learn and grow and be the best versions of themselves. Some are interested in getting tattoos with us. Some are interested in learning from us, and everywhere in between and far beyond. And my, as I mentioned when we were prepping for this, is about your spirituality, because my spiritual growth has been directly correlated to my tattooing practice and interwoven in different ways and continues to evolve and change. And Jesus is a really big part of why I tattoo. Like, that's why I tattoo. And so I would love to start with, how do you feel about how your connection to God connects to your tattooing? And do you feel a connection with your practice daily in connection to your spirituality, and what does that feel like for you?
Absolutely. Again, if there's any questions as I go, you're like, hey, I would love to kind of like dial into this thing, let me know, because I feel like I have so many stories of the Lord being in tattooing that at this point, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's just so much to share. But to start from the beginning, right? I have been following the Lord for about 10 years. It's been a minute and I absolutely love it. I love him and every aspect of him. And so that means that all parts of my life are submitted to God, right? That's my job. That's my day to day. It is my relationships. Like anything in my life, you name it, I am working towards actively submitting it to the Lord. If not, it already is, essentially. So when it came to work, I knew that I really wanted to be doing something in a creative field, or at least something on the side that was creative. I loved painting, I loved sketching. Really, I loved mixed media. I loved different textures and abstract, and I never really was into realism, but anything that felt very like creative and fun that I could maybe like sit down and talk to Jesus while I created something, or if I could sit down and maybe make something for someone else that represented how God felt about them. Loved it. So it really did start out as like this, okay, I'm doing this on the side and it's painting, it's art involving the Lord. And I really didn't think much about tattooing at all until I randomly was like, Lord, like, I think it would be so cool to be tattooing one day. Like, just kind of a random passing thought. Wasn't even one of those things where I was like, I have to do this. It was just like this would be a really incredible thing. God, what do you think? So then literally only probably a week and a half or two goes by, and one of my cousins, who was like one of my best friends, she was like, hey, I'm gonna go get a tattoo at this studio that's up in Northern California. We were living there at the time. And she was like, if you want, you can come. And I didn't think anything about prayer that I had prayed, nothing about it. I just was like, oh, I'll just go with her for moral support. This will be like a fun little situation just to be there for her, right? So I go, and the person that was tattooing her happened to be the owner of the studio. And he just randomly was like, yeah, I love my job. I also love the Lord, and I'm just looking for people who want to learn how to tattoo, and I would give them an apprenticeship. I want like genuine, amazing people who are willing to learn and who are willing to like really put the work in. And then when they're ready, I'll hire them at my studio. And I was like, oh, like I just prayed about this. I'm going to make an immediate career switch, like in this moment. And it felt so right. So in that moment, I decided I was becoming a tattoo artist, and that's what I was going to be doing. And it felt so perfect. And I basically went from just doing creative things with God to then starting to learn to tattoo and create tattoo designs also with Him. Not every tattoo is tied to Christianity at all. Like, I tattoo people from all different walks of life, and I love it. But yeah, it kind of really just started out as like a me and him thing, and had people really invest in me, which I loved. And then it kind of started to take off from there. And that was about 5 years ago. So that's the beginning and the origins of it. And since then, it's evolved and grown. And I would say the Lord is more a part of my business than He ever even has been. And I love it. So
Wow.
there's that.
Beautiful. So, do you ever talk about your connection to God in your sessions? Does that ever come through?
Yeah, I would say it's more on the rare occasion, to be honest, because not everyone that comes in my chair, actually, I would say about 90% of people don't really want to go over that subject, aren't looking to talk about faith or religion at all. I've noticed that a lot of the tattooing community actually is a bit more secular, which I still love just as much, whether we're talking about, I don't know, like their job, what they enjoy, or if on a random occasion I do have someone coming in asking me about my faith. I love both. But I would say that it's more on like, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's on the day to day. It really is just every so often someone will come in and be like, oh my gosh, I heard that you're a Christian. Like, tell me about that. Or I'm a Christian too. Let me share my stories. And I love it. But I definitely want my space to be a place where if people don't want to talk about that, then great. And if they do, then also great. Like, I really want to do a good job at serving people. And sometimes that just looks like being there and being silent or talking about things that they really want to talk about that isn't faith. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah. Love it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, when did you come down to Orange County from Northern
Oh,
California?
yes. Okay, so I'm from here. And
Okay.
then when I was, how old are you when you graduate high school? 18, 17, somewhere around there. When I was graduating, I decided that I wanted to go to a ministry school in Northern California. And so I moved up there for those college years to do ministry school. And then was only there for 5 years. And in the middle of ministry school, got into tattooing. And then once I was done with school and done with my apprenticeship, I moved back. And that was a little over 2 years ago. I missed the beach and I missed my family. So I was like, I have to go back. I can't stay away
Wow.
from the beach and no people.
And then when did you open your studio and
It
go
was like right
solo?
when I came back.
Oh,
I was looking for a place that really felt very warm and welcoming. I was looking for a place that was rent based, not percentage based in terms of like how I pay for the space. Yeah, was honestly I was like I just want it to be nice. I want to be able to run my own business and kind of do my own thing. And as soon as I got here, found Sweet Style OC and was like, this is the first place that I have even looked, but this is it. Like I am down for this. So yeah, about 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yep.
Like right when she opened it. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it
Oh.
was like 6 months old when I got here. So
So, why did you choose to go solo instead of the other ways we could run our businesses?
this is a great question. it's interesting because I have a lot of people come in and be like, do you like being solo? And how do you feel? Like, this isn't a traditional tattoo shop, which I'm sure you get sometimes
Mhm.
too. And I would say for me, the number one reason that I decided to do like the suite version instead of the tattoo shop version was because I love the entrepreneur side of being in a tattoo studio, or, well, my own tattoo studio, just because I love being able to make my hours. I love being able to pick my clients. I like being able to set my prices. I like being able to even like order my own supplies and be like, I know for sure that I'm going to have my things and I'm not relying on anyone else. So for me, that really was the number one thing, was being able to have the primary say in what goes on in my business. Just because when I was in Northern California, even though I was at a typical studio, that's still how they ran it. Like, you rented out a spot, essentially like how you would see maybe like a hair salon where you rent out a chair and then you bring all of your things and you set everything up. That's how it was in Northern California, and I loved it. And so I was looking for something that was at least similar coming back down, because I just didn't like the traditional model of things being more enmeshed at a typical tattoo studio where you're relying on other people to make your hours or relying on a shop to potentially bring in clients. And I also, because I was really trying to go for my abstract style, I really wanted to work on that and not be forced, but for lack of better words, forced to just do walk-in tattoos all the time that I wasn't passionate about. So that's really why I chose this more than anything else. I love being able to do my own thing and
Yeah.
be responsible and do it with excellence. So here we are.
Amen to that. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
That's my favorite part about it too. And no creepy bosses and
Oh my
no
gosh.
no lurking creeps over your shoulder or yeah,
Did
all
you
that
have that
stuff.
before?
Oh yeah. Ugh. Yes. And we don't have to have it anymore. So, yay.
Absolutely not. No. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So cool. And what has you have something very special going on. You have tapped into something that most artists struggle their whole careers to do. Do you know what I'm going to say? Your social
No,
media.
I'm like so surprised. I'm like, what? What
It's
did you
your
just say?
social media. You've just
Oh,
nailed it.
thanks. Thanks.
Yeah. So good. High
I
five. Like
appreciate it. I
you are
try so hard.
you it looks effortless. Everyone go to Danielle. What's your Instagram? Everyone go check this out right
Oh
now.
my gosh. Thanks, thanks.
Go
It's the
follow
word
her.
created, so CREATED, and then the word BY, and then my initials before I got married. So DIG. So created by Dig is my little @ on Instagram. Yep. Yep.
Cool.
I have the best time on social media. I just try to make it
Yeah.
interesting. I try to make sure people can get to know me a little bit before they come to the studio, because I get that sometimes it's like a little intimidating to come to artists that you don't know. But I feel like if you can put your heart and your personality out on your platform, then people at least have a little bit of a taste of who you are before they come in. So I try.
Yeah. What was it in the beginning that allowed you to be so free and just allow your soul to come through? Was there anything that you did you have a decision, a moment where you're like, I'm going to just do it this way? Or is there a certain frame people are trying to do like frameworks and systems and planning certain things? Like, how is that for you when you started?
That's a really good question. What's interesting is I know a lot of people do kind of like what you were saying, have frameworks for their social media. Like maybe their grid looks very clean and, it's very organized and put together. And mine does not look like that. But neither does my space, like my studio. As you can probably see in the background, there's like paint just swirling all over the walls. I literally have like a ladder as my little, I don't know what you want to call it, my little shelf space. Like, my social media also mirrors that, where it's just fun and free and colorful and doesn't necessarily have the most organized, put together, monochromatic vibe. I think it does do a good job at portraying who I am and what I'm like in person. So I say it's interesting because I really don't have a typical, I guess, organized way of doing it. I kind of just do my tattoos, try and make as much content as I can during them. Although I will say it definitely is sometimes hard to figure out what do I get for content, when is a good time to stop and get content. Because as you know, like, you go through a lot of gloves anyway, so then you're taking off gloves to get your phone to get pictures and then putting back on gloves, and it's just like a whole thing. So sometimes it is a little bit of a struggle, but I just do my best to authentically capture what's going on in my tattoo appointments, because sometimes it's not even about me. That's the fun part. Like, sometimes my clients are the fun part, or their designs are the fun part. Like, the other day I had this girl come in and she worked at a cupcake shop, and she brought me these cupcakes and she had iced them, and on them it said, "Thank you for stabbing me consensually." And then that's what she gave me as a gift.
I love
And
that.
so I was like, you know what? This is so funny. This has to be part of my social media post. Like, it just feels so genuine and so hilarious that she would bring in these cupcakes and write that on the cupcakes. And so I was like, it has to be in the post. So I got a picture of it and I was like, you know what? It's just going to be like one of those scroll posts where put some music on it, put some pictures from what happened. The hilarious cupcakes are part of the appointment. So there they are in the post. And that's really just how it goes. There's really not much rhyme or reason to it. It just is what looks fun, what feels like me, and here we are.
You're
So
doing so great at it. It's so
thank
joyful and fun. Just see what you're creating and what you're doing and how you're doing it. And it's really inspiring. Good job.
Oh
That's
my
hard to
gosh.
do.
Thank you. I feel that way about your paintings that are up in our studio. I'm
Oh,
like, these are the most colorful, beautiful, lively things. Like, they are just amazing.
thank
Well,
you. Thank
yeah.
you. I
I cannot
appreciate
imagine
that.
how much work you put into those. Those are
A
just,
lot of hours. Yeah.
yeah,
A
I bet.
lot for sure. Oh, so cool. So, a lot of our audience is people who are looking to learn tattooing. And
Very cool.
because I teach tattooing, right? So
Right.
after they finish their apprenticeships, they are in this stuck place with social media because that's primarily how we're advertising our work these days, right? So, do you have any advice for our new artists who are getting their feet wet and starting out to promote their work? What would you say to them?
Oh gosh. Because I was in the same place. Like, when I was first starting out, I was like, how do I even market this? And what do I say? And do I like promote posts where you pay for promotions, or do I not? Or what there's a lot that you can do. And I don't think that there's necessarily one specific way of doing it, because I've heard so many tattoo artists doing different things and having success in different ways. So me personally, I'm always open to different ways that marketing could go well. I legitimately pray about how I should be marketing my business and really press into that. But things that have worked really well for me. So I would say, one, flash designs. I know that sometimes people want to get tattooed, but they don't know exactly what they want. And I've noticed that if you post flash designs, even if it's a lot of flash designs, like, I always tell people, like, don't be afraid to post a lot on social media. It's all good. Post as much as you want. The more that you post, the more people can get to know you, and the more that they can see the opportunities that you're trying to give them. So, post 10, 15 flash designs, and just, if you want, if you're not getting like a ton of hits on it, be like, okay, I'm going to do it for 10% off, 20% off, whatever. Just because I feel like, even if you have to have like some kind of incentive, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. People get excited about incentives, like giveaways. I do giveaways every few months. People love it. Yes, it's an investment on my end where it's not necessarily like monetarily valuable for me to do giveaways, but people love them. They get super stoked about it. They enter in, they tell their friends, things like that. So I'm always about posting different opportunities for people, just seeing what they're excited about too. Sometimes I'll post stories and I'm like, hey, what are you guys excited about? Do you want to see more of my process? Do you want to see more of a specific type of flash, like florals or geometric or whatever? I'm just trying to gauge what people are wanting. So I would say do your best. to just put yourself out there organically and be like, what do my viewers want? And also, what can I offer them that would maybe be of value to them, even outside of just the tattoo? So, like I was saying, the giveaway or a percentage off, or even like a little tip. I've posted a lot of things where it's not necessarily like, hey, this is a tattoo I did. It's more of a, this is what you should wear for a sternum tattoo, or this is what you should wear for a back tattoo, or little known tattoo facts about skin or how our bodies process being tattooed, because it's not just about your skin, but it's about your immune system. And, people find that kind of stuff interesting also. So if you could have a wide range of things that you talk about, it seems to bring in an audience that either wants to get tattooed, wants to learn from you, is there just because they're interested in the art form. So, yeah, I would say post whatever you can post that's engaging and fun, and people will come.
And it rhymes.
Yep, exactly. It rhymes, which is perfect.
Yeah. Well, what you're doing is working, and it's really fun and inspiring and light. So thank you for what you're putting into the world.
Oh my gosh. Of course. Yep. So
Yeah.
social media sometimes is a lot of work, but it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. It is. So this podcast is called Her Ink Empire. So this is an empire you are building, and it's 5 years strong. What are you most excited about right now and in the future of your career as a tattooer and an artist in general?
Absolutely. Gosh, I'm in an interesting scenario where I'm currently really wanting to grow my style and do more large scale pieces. Like, I love big back pieces, or like pieces that take up, you know, an entire shin or an entire sternum, or, just I love big detail, broad. And so I'm in this place where I'm like, okay, I want to start putting out bigger designs, because I just love when things can flow with the body and, kind of like I said, be very detailed and expansive. But the interesting piece about it is that when I first started tattooing, and I was talking to the Lord about if I should I really go into this? Like, is this really what you have for me right now? Because it feels like it's just lining up. Like, heard about this 2 weeks ago. I'm now all of a sudden offered this random apprenticeship that I didn't even ask for, but I'm here, just praying about it. And the Lord told me, yes, like, go for it. But he did say at one point in your life, and I don't know when, but he was like, at one point, I will ask you to step away from tattooing being the primary thing, and you'll go into full time ministry. So I am constantly in this tension of, again, I want to do my job excellently, and I want to grow as much as possible. And I want to be able to, over the years, have a style that's like recognizable and that I really enjoy. But I also am very much open handed with it, because from the get go, the Lord told me, yes, tattooing is yours, but at some point, again, it won't be the primary thing. And so don't build it having tattooing just be the end goal. Having me as your leader and following me is the end goal. So as I go throughout my style and moving forward, what I'm excited about, it's this funny thing where I'm like, dang, okay, like I really want to grow, and I really want to be able to like go to seminars and improve what I'm doing. And I really want to, again, tap into new styles. But also, I'm just really excited for whatever God's got for me, because I'm like, gosh, I, I don't even know how long I'm going to be doing this. Will it be 5 years? Will it be 30 years? I don't know. I don't know how big this is going to get. I feel like I'm just taking it day by day. And I'm like, okay, what can I do next? What feels exciting? Where can I grow? And so, I guess to answer your question, what feels exciting is the opportunity of like, this could go anywhere. This could be a 30-year thing that turns into some huge, I don't know, like I own a space and I'm teaching a lot of people, kind of like what you've been doing. Or it could be that 5 years from now, the Lord's like, okay, and it's time to do full time ministry. And so you're going to only tattoo maybe one day a week or not at all. So I'm excited about the adventure. Honestly, I'm just so open to whatever he's going to do because it's his and it's not mine. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, probably a little bit of a different answer than maybe what you were expecting, but it does feel exciting in that way where it just feels like like I said, an adventure. So,
Yeah, I relate to that because Jesus showed up in a vision to me in my early 20s before I started tattooing. And he showed up and he was like lining his eyes up with mine. And then he vanished and then showed me a picture of my future self tattooing in this very specific setting. And I haven't experienced that yet, but I feel like I'm getting closer. And so I know that I feel that. Like I know that feeling where there's this other thing that is like planned and that we're just moving and following and trusting and in faith to actualize that, to experience that and to create that with God. And I think that is really beautiful that you're open to it and that you can, you're able to hear that and know what that was and to stay open to that. And I really like that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love that you had a similar experience with that just because I know for so long it was culturally kind of like, can Christians even get tattooed? Can they really be tattoo artists? Like, what's going on here? And I love that it's now becoming more mainstream for people who love the Lord to have tattoos, to be in the industry, because I think it's such a beautiful industry. I absolutely love it. And it's so fun watching other people on the same path of like, no, God's in it. God's in it and he's planning this thing and we're following him and that's that most importance here. And it just, I don't know, it makes me very excited for where tattooing is going just because, again, I know for so long that wasn't really the case. And it just feels like over the past probably, oh gosh, I don't know if I could pinpoint it exactly, but 10, 15, 20 years, it's really kind of made a turn into more of a positive environment. And it just, yeah, it makes my heart really excited for what's to come.
Me too.
Yep.
How do you feel do you have any feelings or opinions about scary tattoos? I call them scary tattoos. I don't know if you know, like demons or like dark visual material, designs, things like that.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I feel like this is something that I'm currently trying to figure out, right?
Cool.
Because, like, in one hand, I'm doing a service for someone, right? Like, I've done so many tattoos where morally I don't agree with the message. And I'm not talking about like hate crime tattoos. I would not do that. I'm just talking about like maybe a certain phrase that I'm like, wow, yeah, that doesn't feel awesome. Or maybe, yeah, a picture that feels a little bit more dark, per se. And so, because I'm doing a service for someone and it's not about my personal convictions, there are places where I'm like, you know what? I can separate my own personal convictions and beliefs from what this person is getting because at the end of the day, this is about the person that's in front of me and they're not necessarily asking me for my opinions or my advice or whatever. And I think it's just another opportunity to, again, serve people well, love people well. So there's that one side. Then there's the other side of there are certain things that I just won't tattoo because of the fact that I'm like, yeah, I personally just don't even feel comfortable with that anymore. And I think kind of, and this is what I'm learning and still trying to figure out, I'm trying to kind of decide where that line is of like, okay, where do I just need to have a boundary of actually, I'm just not comfortable with that? Because there are certain things that I could tattoo that maybe I'm like comfortable tattooing, but I don't necessarily agree with the message. And that's fine. But then there are other things where I'm like, that actually makes me uncomfortable. And I don't want to be uncomfortable in my own space, in my own studio, doing tattoos where I'm like, should I even be doing this? That just feels weird to me. So there have been ones that I've turned down, and I do it very kindly. I never shame the people. That obviously is not what I'm going for. Usually I just word it like, hey, I so appreciate you trusting me with your tattoo idea. I really appreciate you coming to me to, do this service for you. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to take on this tattoo. And usually I'll give like a vague reason, not because I'm just trying to be vague, but just because I'm not trying to like get into the nitty gritty details of everything. But I'll just be like, that subject matter isn't normally within my reach, and therefore I'll happily have you go to someone else who maybe could suit you better in this tattoo process, right? Just something along those lines. But yeah, so I don't know if that fully answers your question, but I feel like it really totally just depends on the subject matter and if I'm feeling comfortable or not doing the tattoo. But
Have you said
oh, sorry, keep going.
have you said no to any of them? Like, what ones have you said no to, if you have?
Like, there was one, and this is like kind of controversial, right? And I'm not necessarily trying to be controversial, but like there was one where a guy wanted a Playboy bunny tattoo. And, it's just like a little logo or whatever. And I was like, hey, again, no judgment to this person. I understand people sometimes, wear that brand for style or whatever. But for me personally, I'm not a fan of the way Playboy treats women and or views women and what they promote. And that's something that I probably would say maybe more than most people I'm very passionate about. Just like, this is not how we treat women. We're not sexualizing women for the sake of doing that. And so therefore I don't support that brand and I don't feel comfortable tattooing it. Now, will another tattoo artist do it and I won't judge them? Absolutely. That's their thing. But yes, so that a good example would be like that. Or there was one time a guy wanted, this is a separate occasion, and when I was very early on in tattooing, he wanted like a woman with nearly no clothes on and rolls of money and cigars and, stuff like that. And again, very politely declined. And it was just like, hey, it's not really the type of subject matter I'm going for, but thank you for your interest in my business. I hope you find the perfect person to do that. So, yeah, I tend to say no to tattoos like that. Or I will say no to tattoos that I personally am just like, you know what? I think someone else could do this better. Like, I'm not trying to say that I'm the best tattoo artist that ever lived and that I can do every single style perfectly. So sometimes I say no to people just because I'm like, hey, I would love for you to get that tattoo. And that's a beautiful tattoo and I have no issues with it. But someone else is going to do that better for you.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally
Yes.
agree. Yep. Yep. I say no. Actually, only like this last year, I got asked to do a spider and I declined it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't want to do it.
How come? What about it were you like, no?
I just don't care for spiders that much, so they kind of creep me out. It scared me a little bit.
That's fair. I don't really like them either.
Yeah, and Grim Reapers and a cartel gun. Those are like the things I've said no to.
A cartel, what specific thing? A cartel gun.
Yeah.
Instead of a gun, a cartel gun.
Yeah, he wanted to be able to be like show someone so that he would like protect him, I guess. And I was like, I don't want anything to do with that. So thank you.
That feels a little bit sketchy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for asking, but thank you.
Yeah.
That's wild. But it makes sense that you would just, again, politely decline and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, and then go refer them to someone else who for sure would do it or would do a better job, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of tattoo artists out there who would.
Yeah.
Good for them. I don't need to be that person.
Exactly. Yeah. And like you just have such a beautiful, organic, flowy style that it makes sense to keep saying yes to those kinds of tattoos and stay in that realm and continue to evolve and flourish in that style. It just makes sense,
Thanks. Yeah, I do have a lot of fun with it. I feel like the flowy tattoos, even though it's kind of just like bread and butter for me, people all the time are like, do you ever get bored of these? I'm like, not really. Like, I kind of just really enjoy them. Mm-hmm. So even though I've done like 500 of them, maybe not that many. I really don't know. I haven't kept track. But even though I do them all the time, I just enjoy them because they're different every day. Everyone's body shape is different and you have to shape it specifically to them. Not any one of them is the same. Yeah. I don't know. There's just something about them where I'm like, wow, you just really get to personalize it. And it becomes like a fun little arts and crafts project with the person that's in front of me.
Yeah, there's nothing like tattooing and being in that collaborative energy and like working through this thing, and you've got to feel each other and sense each other and complete something together, and it's such a powerful experience.
Absolutely. Because you do something similar too, right? Where you're really like shaping things to people's bodies, you're drawing it on, making sure that it's like perfect for them.
Yeah, yep, 100%. That's what I do. Yeah, it's so similar, yet so different, which is so cool, right?
Yeah, because I would say our styles are super different, but similar in the creative space where you're making sure that every person, like their proportions are perfect for the tattoo, that it all flows well, that it like is a piece of the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that, and that's something where I really encourage every artist I teach, because a lot of women will come to me to teach them the abstract style or like this flowy, intuitive style. Their natural, innate way of making marks that will come through that you can see so clearly in your work too, that is so beautiful. And I think that when someone's shopping for an artist, to be able to tune in and see and feel the different subtle qualities and movements within the line work and feel if that resonates with you, and how to like, I've seen some of your pieces that where you're building your style and flowing into current pieces they have that they want to evolve and expand on. And those are some of my favorite pieces of yours too. Because they're so expressive and unlike things, so many tattoos I've seen. Really different work. I,
Thanks.
I hope everyone listening goes and follows Danielle and really connects with her and go get a tattoo with Danielle, because it's,
Thanks,
from
Justine.
what I see, is like such a fun, beautiful experience. So
Thank you. It
go.
is fun, like you said, getting to do the ones where it's starting maybe at a current tattoo they have and then like kind of flowing down. Or even a lot of people will come in and say, I have a bunch of patchwork tattoos. Can you put a flowy, like swirly tattoo in between and make it a filler piece? And I think what's really fun about the style that I get to do is that because it's so abstract, really you can make it fit any shape. So whether it is coming out of a current tattoo or if it's again doing the space filling situation, awesome. Just because they make great space fillers, which I really appreciate. Will come in and have these just funky gaps that they needed filled, and all I have to do is go through my archive of these swirly designs that I have and be like, okay, like which one can we make work? And usually I print out a stencil, we stencil some of it, but then it ends up being partially freehand to really fit it in those just like awkward gaps. And that's what makes it unique every single time is every design that I do that's like a swirly design always has a freehand aspect to it because yes, I still want people to be able to like see a stencil so they have kind of an idea of the structure of how it's all going to flow and come together. But then at the same time, I want it to be unique. So I'll take my pen and I'll add or subtract just based off of like what's going to flow well and how to get around their other tattoos or whatever. And it just kind of becomes its own little new art piece on their skin. And I really enjoy it. Like I said, it kind of just feels like an art project when people come in, which I know can be intimidating for some. Sometimes when I have people who are much more like type A, they're like, how do I know I'm going to like it? Or how do I like, how are we going to figure it out on the day of? And usually I'm like, don't even worry about it. Like I have an entire process. As much as you want to know beforehand, I will tell you. But if you just come in and trust me, like I got it. I've probably done it. I mean, realistically, like 250 times. Like, like all good. So it's fun, fun, freehand, kind of free floating process.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so beautiful. I would love to know, is there any part of tattooing that feels really challenging to you?
Yes. I think throughout my 5 years, which it doesn't even feel that long. I'm like, wow, it's only been 5 years. Like, I know you've been in the industry for what, 10, 11?
I think almost 16.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I thought it was only a decade. You're like way past that. That's incredible.
I know,
I'm
it's a
like,
long time.
no, that's so cool. I love that. You probably have so many good stories and you've had so much time to like practice and refine. That's just amazing.
But it
But I
does,
feel like,
just to say this too, it doesn't have anything to do with anything. And your time being less than mine has nothing to do with your level of expertise and experience. 100%.
I appreciate it. I guess
Yeah.
I so respect people who've been in it for the long haul just because I know burnout rates can be high and I know that it's not an easy career and there's ebbs and flows of times that are like harder to get clients or times it's really easy. And so the fact that it's been 16 years for you, I'm like, wow, there's like so much to learn there. So I just love it. I think that's awesome. But to answer your question, yeah, I would say that there are definitely parts of tattooing that feel challenging that have shifted throughout the years. Because, like at the beginning, my first couple years, it was literally just the basics that felt super challenging. Like, I I was trying to figure out needle depth for so long and was just practicing on fruits and practicing on fake skin and people like friends who would just let me tattoo them for free and I was like, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'll do it for free. And I was very open and honest about that. But yeah, I would say needle depth was one of the hardest things when I first started tattooing just because it feels like 3D drawing, but you can't really see exactly where it's all going and it's all by feel mostly. So that was one of the first things. And then as I got really comfortable in the actual like basics and structure of how the way tattooing is meant to feel and how to do it, then it turned into, okay, well, I only have a minimal art background and it's all just abstract painting. So there's a very big difference between an abstract painting and a solid tattoo design. And also there's a very big difference between a design that would fit on a canvas versus a design that would fit on a curved human body. So then it was, okay, well, how do I create designs that are meant for skin versus canvas? Now, I would say one of the hardest things is because I'm wanting to kind of step out into different styles, it's the learning the structure of the different styles, right? Because I think that any style that you go for in tattooing has a structure, if you will. So even with my very abstract art, there are things that are the same throughout, which I'm sure it's the same with yours, where mine specifically, I would say the structure for my abstract art is like I do a lot of fine lines all right next to each other and then some kind of weave in and out almost looking like water flow. But to get that effect, you have to have really crispy long lines that flow and you have to have enough to make it look very busy and free flowing. So that's part of the structure of it and how I always do it. Well, then when I'm trying to do realism art, obviously it's very different. You're thinking about light sources and you're thinking about potential color and color theory and all of that. And so I think for me right now, as I feel like I've got all the abstract stuff, at least for what I've done down, where I'm like, I love this. I feel like I've kind of mastered my abstract style for what it is now. Not that I couldn't build on it, but for now I feel very solid in it. And so I'm like, okay, how do I now learn something that is completely different, still tattooing, but requires something just so different than what I've done in my day to day? So I watch a lot of YouTube videos and I look at a lot of other tattoo artists' work and I'll try and pick apart everything. Like, if I want to do a realism tattoo, I'll just study realism pieces. And I'm like, okay, like what technique did they use for their shading? What needles do I think they used? All of that, because there's so much to learn. So much.
It's
So
pretty amazing that we actually can do that now, because when I was learning, there was like YouTube was nothing, we didn't even, I had flip phone during my apprenticeship,
then
like it
was
was
your
a different
apprenticeship
world.
just like you just had your mentor and that's who you go to for everything?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to have 3 women teach me too,
Oh
in
wow.
different styles. So I learned a lot in a
Yeah.
short period of time, and how to do a lot of different things. And I asked a ton of questions and saw
Yeah.
lots of different things. But yeah, back then, like there was no other way to learn.
Yeah.
No other
I mean, that
options.
makes so much sense.
So
How cool,
that's
though.
just,
3 people.
yeah, I know, I lucked out. It was all guided, all that time. So cool. Okay,
Absolutely.
another question for you.
Okay.
Something that I think is challenging about tattooing is for long sessions, staying fueled and feeling comfortable in my body sitting for so long because I feel like antsy. Sometimes I've felt, I wonder if you can relate, like I draw out the whole piece, like it's a huge sleeve or a giant thigh, leg, back piece, like it's all connecting, and I'm like, okay, we just spent 2 hours designing this, now I gotta spend how many tattooing? All right, here we go,
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like I just want to, like, all right, I'll see you later, I'm tired, but
That's so real.
yeah, right. What's the day in the life for you? Are you cooking for yourself? Are you making yourself something specific every day before a tattoo? Are you exercising? What do you do? What's your day-to-day daily life for Danielle?
Oh my gosh. I feel like it's changed so much the past couple months because my husband and I have been like, okay, we really need to do a better job at like meal planning and working out because we're really trying to be extra healthy, not just like emotionally, but also physically. And because my job is so sedentary, kind of like what you're saying, sometimes it's like, wow, I get a little bit antsy. Or sometimes I come home and even though I've been sedentary all day, it's like just the amount of focus that it takes, I'll be exhausted. And I'm like, my gosh, how am I going to have time to work out and like eat good food and whatnot? So we've actually really been restructuring our lives the past couple months, which is great and has been so helpful. But I have now started getting up early before work most days. Not every day, but most days I try.
What times?
Okay, so usually I start my day at 9:45 in the morning. Like I'll be at the studio tattooing starting at 9:45, right? So that means that if I want to like get up and make tea and have 45 minutes to just have some quiet time and chill, I'll get up at 7. So, get up at 7 until like 7:45-ish. I'll just drink tea or coffee and hang out to give my brain a moment to wake up. And then usually I'll do some type of quick breakfast because I really don't even like breakfast that much, to be honest. But I know that I have to eat because, like you said, like fueling yourself is so important. It just is sometimes like, oh my gosh, like it feels like a whole extra job, like trying to take care of my body. So
Yeah, it
it's so
is.
real.
Yeah, for sure.
Such a thing. So I'll just do something that's like small, but I know will be good for me throughout the day. I have like these protein shakes that I've really been loving, or I'll grab fruit in the morning, or just something where I'm like, at least this will get me through to the afternoon. And then get ready. Usually I leave my house at like 8:45 or 9 to then be at the studio and be ready by 9:45 because I am a freak about being on time when it comes to work. And so I want to be ready at least a couple minutes before 9:45 when people are scheduled to come in. Like I would prefer to be ready at like 9:35, 9:30 because I don't want people to come in and then I'm like frazzled because I'm not ready.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling ever.
I hate it. Just because I feel like it kind of, I don't know, it makes me feel a little bit stressed out before I even start the whole tattooing process. And I just don't do well with that. So I try and get here early so that I can get set up and mentally ready. And then usually on a long day, I'll be done by 6:45 with a lunch break in between.
Oh, you cut out there by 6,
Oh,
you said?
by 6:45. So usually it'll be like starting at 9:45, somewhere in there taking a lunch break, whether it's one client for the day or a few clients, and then hopefully ending at the latest by 6:45. Sometimes it kind of varies just because if I'm almost done with the tattoo and it's 6:45, I'm not going to be like, well, let's plan a second session for the last 30 minutes, so I'll just
Right.
stay late. But yeah, and then I try and go home. I try and work out 3 times a week. Most of the time that does happen. And like I said, we've been meal prepping, and my husband is a beautiful, amazing, generous man and is also a very good cook. And so he spends his time, free time, making food for us. And I'm so appreciative. It's so good. and so helpful to have extra things that are like ingredients. We're living in an ingredient household right now instead of like just a full prepped meal household, because we have bases. Like we'll have a chicken base and then we'll have a beef base, and then we can use that for different meals so we're not getting too bored. So that's usually how my days go. Honestly, I would not be able to do it without my husband. He is an angel and helps me so much, not just with like meal prepping or with being a good workout partner, but also he's very administrative and so good at structuring things in a way where it's very dialed in, helps me feel much more at peace, because if it were just me, I'm not very administrative, things would be kind of like all over the place and everywhere. And he's just like, oh no, let me structure this for you so that you can handle it and feel good about it. It's amazing.
Love it.
So that's what we're doing.
Sounds like it's working. That's
So
really
far it
cool.
is. Sometimes we have to switch things around, but so far it's been working pretty well. So
Cool.
yeah.
So what's the latest you'll go in the evening?
Oh gosh. I mean, so the other day, I actually didn't really have many tattoos during the day at all. I had nothing in the morning. And one of my clients was like, I work a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. Is there any way I can come in later? And I was like, well, because I don't have anything in the morning, I can just sleep in and then take a later appointment. So I was here from like 6 p.m. to like 10 p.m. Sometimes that happens. It's pretty rare because most of the time people can't figure out a time during the week to come in where it's with my normal hours. But on occasion, there'll be an exception where I will stay late. It's not my favorite thing ever, but I'll do it for people. And if it's like I'm not overextending myself and I can do it well because I don't have a early morning tattoo, then great, then I'll do that. But I definitely don't go from like 9:45 to 10 p.m. At that point, I would be like so mentally checked out. I don't even think I could function.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Mm-hmm.
how long are your longest sessions?
I don't like to like 9 hours is like maxed out. I'm maxed out,
So do you like take a lunch break and then like how does that work?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll more do the long stretches for my out of town clients.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you did, like a back to back on your back. No, but like I know you did that the other day. Or two sessions back to back. I think more than that is really hard on my client, and I don't like the texture of the skin.
Really?
At like second day, I don't love how the skin feels. Like so raw.
That's so interesting.
Second day, yeah. I like to really give it 2 weeks to heal if I can. And if I have to do it back to back, I will. And I love working for like 6-7 hour sessions or feel really good.
Yeah.
Those are good. 4-hour sessions are great too. 3 hours, I think people generally can stand 3-hour sessions really well. And once we pass that 3 hours, it's like, now we're really like, we're marathoning together, and I'm using numbing cream and we're just like, we're birthing something, And those are fun. That's fun too. Yeah.
Yeah. Question for you.
Sure.
I've had weird things happen with numbing cream where people's skin gets like, I don't know, like it gets like tense. It almost like tightens up to where it's really hard to tattoo. What brands do you like to use? Like what works well for you?
Okay, so there's so many different kinds, and this is something that I am in process of developing, like the best one ever, because I'm so specific about it. There are certain lotions, the creams solutions can be made with different additive, like cream additives, lotion additives. Those lotions often, in most numbing creams I find, are way too liquidy. Like a really water-based lotion, like glide over your skin and rub in really well, like that kind of numbing cream, thick and goopy and white, kind of fluffy, that texture, that is going to cause the skin to be that kind of like, how when you're in the bathtub and you get waterlogged for too long and you get raisin fingers?
Yes.
Is that kind of what you mean? I think it turns like that.
Yeah, it just gets it's almost like the skin doesn't want to accept ink well. It's like when I try and pull lines sometimes after numbing cream. Not with Bactine. Bactine is like a lifesaver for me. But with certain numbing brands, and I've found it's
Right.
not every person. Like it seems like person to person, their skin will react differently. So I never really know what I'm going to get if someone comes in with numbing cream. But yeah, it almost feels like it's just tighter. Like it doesn't have the same like really nice, like soft consistency.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I don't love when they come in with numbing cream they've gotten off the internet somewhere. I don't like that because a lot of those creams really are terrible and they do waterlog. It's like a sponge, it can only take
Yep.
in so much. And if it's all filled with this water, where's the ink gonna go?
Yeah.
It's like tattooing into a wet sponge. So I'm real specific. There's that TKXT, I think that's what you call it. It's a green tube.
Interesting.
I do have one right here. Perfect. This stuff. This is really good for pre-numbing.
Okay.
Pre-numb with this. It can sit on the skin for 2 hours before the session. And this is a drier cream. So it's good for prepping and you can leave it on for 2 hours and it really numbs the skin. This is more than just 5% lidocaine.
Wow.
It has something else in it. So this is really good for pre-numbing. And then why you like Bactine is because what's the consistency? It's like thin.
Yep.
There's
like
no, yes. Okay, yeah. Okay, so with the mist, we don't I love Bactine if you can pour it in an ink cap and then apply it like with a Q-tip. So then you don't spray and get that back spray, like the bloodborne pathogens don't flow. So I love to pour it or take like my sanitized hand and pour it into my gloved hand and place it on the tattoo and rub it in.
That is brilliant.
And then it's going to absorb quickly into the skin. There's no thick layer of fluffy, wet lotion sitting on there, making the skin soggy. It just goes right in, it does its job, and then you can get back to tattooing right away.
Absolutely. It works so well. People are surprised how quickly it helps. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I've noticed that your skin's really sensitive. Can I throw some Bactine on there? And within seconds, they're like, oh my gosh, wow. It's not stinging anymore. It doesn't feel sore anymore.
Yeah, and right, yeah. And it's only 4% lidocaine. And it works after the skin's already been opened up.
Yep.
It goes right in. So most of these numbing creams you're buying off Amazon, not this one, are only 5%, like 4 or 5% in a fluffy lotion. Like it doesn't work. It cannot penetrate unbroken skin. So it's just a waste of time and money and energy. And
that's how I feel.
It screws up your tattoo session. So don't use it.
I tell people all the time that ask me about it. I'm like, please save yourself the hassle. Just don't. If you need to take breaks during the tattoo session, great. If we need to use Bactine, great. Like there's so many other options to make it tolerable and workable. Like as long as you have an artist that is willing to take breaks with you and work with you, it really is like gonna be fine.
Yeah. There's another one that has it's a spray too, which I don't love, so I do the pouring thing. And that one it's a vasoconstrictor. So it has epinephrine in it. So it constricts the blood from flowing. So it stops it and takes the redness out, which can be good to use right before you take a photo at the end of the session to take the red out.
Is brilliant. I usually just use the Bactine at the end because it does help with the redness, but obviously that doesn't have a vasoconstrictor. So I'm assuming the one that you're talking about would potentially be better because there are times where I get done tattooing, wipe it all off, and then between that point and then me setting up my light and my little polarized filter, there's already plasma all over the tattoo again. Not always, but in some sessions. So
yeah,
that could be a really big win.
That can help a lot. Make your pictures look crispier and brighter without having to like manually brighten up your tattoo.
Right.
I mean, with like adjusting the settings on your photo,
Yeah, I really, like I said, I'm not very techie. So in terms of photo editing, I do nearly none because I'm like, I don't know really what works best. And sometimes when I try and edit it, then I post it on social media and it's like Instagram doesn't like my edit and then it turns out funky. So at this point, I'm like, however the photo turns out, that's just how it's getting posted, because that's all I know how to do.
Yeah, I think that's the best. Like the only thing I do when I edit a photo is like I just slightly decrease the saturation and take the redness out, you know?
That's fair. What I usually use, and I don't
Sometimes.
know if you do this also, but so my light that I have is a polarized light. And then I put this polarized filter on my phone, and then it takes out any of that shiny kind of, I don't know, like backlight. And what's really cool is it has a little, I mean, you probably can't see it very well, but essentially you can kind of twist it and it'll change the lighting ever so slightly to where it pulls out some of the redness. And so it's almost like a slight editor, but not a techie editor. It's just a little filter. It works really well.
That's good. I should use mine more. I like never ever use it, but I will try it again. That's cool.
Hey,
You noticed that. Yeah.
Again, it was my husband's idea, not even mine. He was like, hey, this would be a really good idea for your pictures. And I just listened, and it's actually helped so much. So
Cool. Cool. Okay. Awesome. I'm going to try that again. Thank you.
absolutely.
That's cool. Yeah, I think that the taking out the shine. Have you heard about the glasses you can wear that are polarized glasses to see the darker skin better?
No. Okay, for a second, I thought you were going to be talking about the glasses that have the camera to record the, do you know what I'm talking about? The Ray-Ban
Yeah,
glasses.
those are cool
But
too.
not those, right? You're talking about like a different kind?
Yeah, so basically, like sunglasses or eyeglasses that have polarized lenses. Supposedly, I haven't tried it yet, but I want to. And they take the glare off. So high melanin skin tones create a
Yeah.
lot of glare with that light, right?
Yes.
And so, if you want to see what you're doing more clearly, these polarized glasses really remove that light, that glare, just like that little lensy thing you have does.
That's brilliant. I did
Yeah,
not know those existed. I'll have to look them up just because I feel like if I could see my stencil even more clearer, why wouldn't I do that?
right.
Life easier. Harder sometimes when it's like long appointments and it's so glary, your eyes just get tired. So
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Yeah, these are good tips for everyone, huh? Thank you.
I bet people love listening in because they probably get so many good tips from different artists.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so fun.
Yeah, I think that we need more of this kind of dialogue and connection and sharing ideas, especially for us who have our own private studios who don't get that like shop environment, you know? Or for our listeners who are considering opening up their own private shops and want more connection and support and community, like
Absolutely.
we need to do this more.
It's a good way to go, especially because I feel like people are so brilliant in their own way when it comes to how they tattoo, their styles, even just their little tips and tricks. I've learned so much just from asking other people, like, tell me about what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. People are just so, so cool to listen to. So the fact that you're getting to share people's stories and even just like help other artists along the way, especially growing ones. Yeah. I wish I would have had something like this.
Me too. Me too. I just remember reading articles in tattoo magazines about artists. And, you know, one thing that stuck out from from one of the interviews I read was like this, and I can't remember his name, but he's like a classic, like old time, classic American traditional tattooer. And I can't remember his name, but he said he was always so grateful that his clients would leave the studio so that he wouldn't have to see the tattoos again because he would obsess over his imperfections. And I think just hearing that this man who is just such a legend in the tattoo industry felt that way, that it gave me a sense of, you know, Justine, you don't have to be perfect in every tattoo. And every tattoo you're probably not going to like, and you're going to be very happy they don't have to look at it all the time, you know, and that mistakes are going to happen in every single tattoo we do. And if we can just keep going and love the imperfections and love ourselves for being brave enough to do this work, I think that we're going to be okay. And we're going to be able to keep continuing to be of service through this
I
work,
fully
you know?
agree. Absolutely. Because it is one of those things where obviously you, like you said, not every tattoo is going to be the most perfect thing you've ever seen. Like, we're not machines, but at the same time, I've had so many people come in and be like, oh my gosh, like they'll show me other tattoos that they have, and yes, same thing, those tattoos aren't perfect either, or maybe it's literally like a stick and poke from their friend, but they're like, it's about the experience and the art and the connection with people. And so it really isn't just about the work. I mean, it is. I want to do tattoos at the highest level that I can, right?
Of
But
course.
at the same time, you can't like nitpick yourself 24/7, or else it kills all of the joy in it.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
Yep. Yep.
Danielle, I'm so grateful for you taking the time to
Oh my gosh, yes.
talk with me. Thank you. And share the true depth behind the work you're creating and serving the world with. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for listening and being a part of Her Ink Empire. Remember, this is only the beginning. Your empire is already unfolding. Until next time, stay bold, stay aligned, and stay true to you as you build your artistic legacy.